Hey everybody, welcome again to Marvel Duel on G4G. I am Napalm Dawn, King of the Black Order, and in a recent video I showcased two decks that were making use of the Black Order. One of which, my Guards Ahoy deck, successfully adapted to the Black Order being part of them, and one of them, my Black Widow Mystic deck, did not. And I've adjusted it back. I've made my Widow deck, my Widow Mystic deck, back where it was before the addition of the Black Order. However, my Guards Ahoy continues to maintain the use of the Black Order. So I wanted to show you guys this replay that I have that successfully made use of the Black Order down the stretch and a Thanos snap for the win. So we're going to start here on 6 of 11 for my turns, and you can see the plan that I have for this deck of Ebony Maw with the spear and Supergiant doing some tanking is working out pretty well. However, the current opponent does not have any attack characters, so Supergiant's not really able to do her job. Ebony Maw is not really getting kills to buff Supergiant, unfortunately. Now we're on turn 7, and I'm fighting somebody who I can knock off the ladder with a win, so I'm going a little ham. I pull down an Abomination's Might, and I put it on one of my tanks. I get a Hydra Infiltration. I do the Guardian Refresh. I 2-star the Chitauri Soldiers, who is one of my tanks, and I have the Asgardian Shackles on him. I get Silk, so I dump Gwen, which some people may have some issues with. But I wanted to get Silk in there, and I wanted her kind of getting going. And Silk was one of the only cogs in the machine that I could feel happy getting rid of. I don't want to get rid of Chitauri and have Supergiant just do the tanking because the Chitauri was just power boosted. So here, Supergiant takes a huge crit and gets knocked out, but does damage their attack characters heavily. Falcon wipes. Hood wipes. We weaken Elektra a little bit. She regains some because of the Silver Swords. Takes a huge shot from Ebony Maw. And this guy is now dead. So this is where I really want to go ahead and highlight what is happening. So now it's me and the final guy over here. I am slightly behind in hit points, but this is the battle for the win, and this was on casual, by the way. So now at this point we're looking pretty solid. I pulled down a Zemo just in case to go with Hydra Infiltration. Ebony Maw 2 stars, which is great. I move him into the second place just to avoid any issues of getting web snared or anything. And now you can see we are facing an Enchanted Soul Swap deck. Keep that in mind. And let's resume. So we have Enchanted Soul Swap working because some Guardians are coming in, but I Bewitching Spell a little bit of it. A Mr. Misery is huge on the other side. We knock him out. Well, we push him back into the hand. Minerva brings in Wong with the Eye of Agamotto. And my dudes are getting wrecked. What's kind of amazing there, I'm not really too sure what happens there. But, oh yeah, I can't rewind in the turn. But my Asp essentially gets obliterated through her armor onto the MODOK. He has like no puncture or anything like that, so I'm not really too sure what happened to Asp when Asp attacked MODOK over there. So we're going to speed this up a little bit. towards the end of the round. Okay, soul swap shenanigans. See, yeah. I don't know. Not really too sure. Unless she just didn't have enough armor and power combined. But I thought he was 28. Yeah, don't really know what was happening. So now I'm like, okay. I'm in trouble. What am I going to do to fix things here? So I put in Zemo. I give him the Hope Fund just because I have it. And I hit him with the Hydra Infiltration. So here, he's got a full deck out there this time. I infiltrate the Yanrog, and I also infiltrate a couple other characters. I soul swap, so now he's got a bunch of weak Hydra infiltrators over there, but he's still executing his plan of bringing in Mystic Guards. He's down to 36, gets blasted down to 31, gets blasted down to 8. And there's that instant death again. I don't know what that is. I'm literally insta-dying by attacking his MODOK. And not really too sure what's causing that. So he winds up winning again. And I'm now down to 5 hit points. So now it's like, okay. I am going to lose this until something changes. So here I pull Thanos. So I do a web snap. And I go ahead and bounce out my tank, leaving Supergiant as the only tank. I drop Thanos. I drop a snap. I put the Asgardian Shackles on Silk. I Abomination charge Supergiant. I put another Bewitching spell out there. And then another Bewitching spell. Conceivably, I could have Goblin Glidered with Ebony Maw at the start and just stunned them. But it's okay. So here we go. Thanos snaps. And we wind up the winner of the snap. Huge winner of the snap. Enchanted Soul Swaps go out. Not enough to do anything to me. I get the first victory over him and punch him for 13. Still, have a huge chance to lose. I see great responsibility. So because this is desperation mode, I hit in on Silk. We don't have another snap, so we're not going to rely on that. So now I have a beefy Silk. I do Thunder Fulmination on Asp. So now we have a beefy Silk and a beefy Asp. I see Stormbreaker, and I sacrifice Zemo and the Ho Fund to get it. Here is a slight miscalculation, maybe. I should have had Asp on the other side of Thanos, right next to Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw going first and not Asp is actually a good thing. At first you might be like, dude, why don't you put Asp with Stormbreaker in the lead position? Why don't you have her fry everything before they get going? Well, you'll see. So here we go with a slightly underpowered battlefield on my side, but there's still tricks. Ebony Maw goes and blows up a whole bunch of this person's Enchanted Soul Swaps. All of them are now gone. I blow up a Bewitching spell, but I have 2 of them. Thanos attacks and dies. Stormbreaker goes out, wipes everybody. He has no cavalry to bring in. 14 damage against 10 hit points. And we get the victory. So that very end round there could have gone a little bit differently, as I should have moved Asp into the second position to Stormbreaker before she took any damage. She should have gone to the left of Thanos. However, Ebony Maw being in the lead position wrecked his tactics by getting rid of those Enchanted Soul Swaps I was able to go ahead and basically ruin that guy's plan for the deck. If you look at what Enchanted Soul Swap does, it says once per battle, when a friendly Guardian character enters the battlefield in the battle, deal 5 damage to 2 random opponents and play a tactics card in your hand onto the battlefield. Enchanted Soul Swap detected. So, because it is a lore card, and he had Doctor Strange cards coming in and out, especially that Wong with Eye of Agamotto and everything, he kept tripping his Enchanted Soul Swaps, but this was not tripping another Enchanted Soul Swap. He was earning them manually. So he was frying my deck by these guards coming in, and actually when I fed him the Hydra Tunes, I also fed him a little bit of damage. The good thing was, though, I was blocking his better cards from coming into the field and just dealing with the damage from the Hydra characters. So the snap was big. Zemo with the Hydra infiltration was also pretty big. And then sacrificing a 6th card to get the Stormbreaker, which is what I should have been refreshing for more appropriately. I shouldn't have been forced into a desperation move to get it, but I did a desperation move to pull it, put it on there. Everything worked out. Thanos died. He didn't have to. I should have had Stormbreaker as the 2nd card, but actually having Ebony Maw as the lead card there wrecked the cavalry, which is really good because it meant when I dealt with the cards that were on the field, he had no chance of replacing any of them and dealing damage. This is tricky. I commend that person that I was facing very much. Granted, it was on casual and not an actual ladder duel, but I will say that his deck was pretty well planned, and I'm happy to fight somebody who thinks about a deck and plans it out and gets a strategy and execute it and does everything that that guy does, rather than just, oh look, it's Guardians of the Galaxy, it's Gladiator, it's Ego, oh look, it's an armor deck, which yes, I'm using. I like to fight things that have some flavor to them, and that guy had a pretty flavorful deck. So he had Wong, after being attacked, deal 10 damage to the nearest opponent and teleport this card out of your hand. So smacking Wong, who does guard, teleporting away pops for 10 damage, and then you have Eye of Agamotto, which is buffing him. It stays stuck to him, so when he gets teleported, he comes back. He will have the Eye of Agamotto with him, giving him power and armor. And if Wong was to take a hit big enough to kill him, Agamotto will create a copy of it and then move Eye of Agamotto to it. So that means going through his guards and the Enchanted Soul Swaps is really, really tough. I commend this guy for building a pretty cool deck. If he had a Doctor Strange in there, which maybe he was trying to get to, it would have been even rougher. And if he focused on a lot of guards, which is pretty strong in a Doctor Strange deck, and he had Voodoo Call, that's even more potential guards that would have been triggering Enchanted Soul Swap. So it's a really nicely laid out deck that the guy had. I'm happy to have fought it, but I'm also happy to have beaten it rather soundly. So kudos to him, and I might even investigate a deck style like that myself. So thanks everybody for checking out another Black Order Marvel Duel video here on G4G. Hope you found it entertaining. See you, everybody.